and welcome to the Cupcake Round series sponsored by Safe and Sound Somerset. My name is Veronica Finley and I'm the Development Director here at Safe and Sound. We'd like to speak to you today and provide you with information about domestic abuse. What is it, who it happens to, and what we do here at Safe and Sound to address it. To start with, domestic abuse is a behavior where one person controls another person. And this can happen in a variety of ways. It can be intimidation, it could be financial control, it could be isolation, and then there could be the physical violence. There are many ways that one person tries to exert their control over another person. And who does it happen to? It can happen to anyone. And there should be absolutely no shame if you are the victim of abuse, because it can happen to any of us here at this table. It doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your religion. Men are victims of domestic abuse as well as women, and it happens in the LGBT community as well. So it can happen to anyone, and the numbers are absolutely staggering. Here in Somerset County alone, if you consider our population of this county, at any given moment, there are 42,000 individuals in abusive relationships. And that number has to change. And that is our role here in Somerset County, and something that we are trying to address. Now, if a person is in a crisis situation, they would call our hotline. And I think, Tanya, you could, first let me introduce the panel here. My apologies for not doing so. Tanya McKinley is our residential senior director. And Tricia is our clinical director, Tricia Stewart, and Anna Diaz is our director of programs. But now we could segue back into crisis situations. Tanya, can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yes, thank you, Veronica, for that introduction. I tell you, as you were talking about the statistics, they are staggering, and it can happen to anybody. Every time I hear the statistics and I hear about the effects that domestic violence has on its victims, it's actually alarming. And I've been in this field about 2.5 years now, and each time a victim comes to me and talks about their story, it is so gut-wrenching to me. That's why it's really important that when clients are in crisis, we have key services at our agency when they need our services. And some of those key services is our hotline. It's actually the entryway for our clients to experience a better life for themselves. Our hotline.
Tanya, and how do clients reach the hotline?
Great question. They can reach us either our phone, which is our 1-800 number at 866-685-1122, or they can contact us on our texting portal, which is actually the same number. And I'm glad you brought that question up, Anna, because what we're discovering and what we have discovered over the past couple of months, our college students, they're using our texting portal to reach out to us, because I think they find a little bit more comfort contacting the texting line. So that's a great question. Our hotline is actually staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week by skilled professionals, and these skilled professionals provide supportive listening to our victims. They can also assess for their needs. We can do counseling and children's referrals, which is really good, especially if they need that additional support. But one of the most important things that when individuals are contacting us and they're in a crisis is that we can actually assess and determine if they need to come into our emergency shelter. And I think it's important for the audience to know that our emergency shelter is actually in a confidential location. And so our victims, when they're coming in, they can have the security and comfort of knowing that they're going to be in a secure environment away from their abuser. And at the shelter, we have monitoring systems. And then we are also staffed there as well, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And we're staffed with case managers, and our case managers they're so good. They can offer these clients, now they're our clients, they can offer the clients educational as well as employment assistance, and then they also can help them with their next step housing, because that is key to them moving on to this better life. And one of the things I wanted to let the audience know, we are one of the few agencies that offer in-house counseling. And the in-house counseling, we provide children, as you know, as well as adult counseling. And then the children can have their individualized counseling as well as the adults. So that's an important component for those who are trying to build a brand new foundation for their life. If I can, share with the panel as well as the audience about a previous client we had that just left. And when she came into the shelter with her two little boys, she was in a bad space. However, after months went by, she just transformed into another person. Right now she is going to school. She's going to be starting school, and she's continuing on with her counseling at a different location, which happens to be our outreach location. So the counseling was so beneficial for her to move on with her life. So.
That's amazing, and you do amazing things at the shelter and really make it feel more like a home for these individuals so that they can begin to heal and decide what their next steps are. So my sincere thanks to the entire staff at the Safe House and the amazing work that they do. Tricia, can you talk more about our clinical program?
Absolutely, and I think it's so important, thank you Tanya, to understand the barriers that victims face when they're leaving their abusive situations and how hard that is. So our counselors at Outreach are trained to respond to the complexities of domestic violence, to really get in there and help them with a trauma-focused approach. We know from all the research that the common response to domestic violence or living in an abusive situation is depression, anxiety, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, and we are seeing these responses in both children and adults. So our team has been trained to treat the depression, to treat the anxiety, and to really treat the post-traumatic stress disorder that happens with a lot of these victims and their children and their family members that are witness to this event. So recently we treated a client, a victim who was brutally attacked by her husband in front of her 3 children. And their 3 children witnessed this, and unfortunately the victim almost died. She developed post-traumatic stress disorder along with her 3 children. They all met the full criteria for post-traumatic stress disorder, which was really unfortunate. But through our treatment here, through the groundbreaking treatment we do, we were able to get this entire family to a better place so that they are better emotionally and they can function day to day. She's now working in a field that she loves, which is wonderful, and she was not able to do that before based on all of her symptoms. And one of the best things we do here at Safe and Sound is offer counseling options. So we can do basic domestic violence counseling, or we can treat the depression, the anxiety, or the post-traumatic stress that happens as a result of living in a violent relationship. So.
Thank you. And each client's experience is different. But what I find truly inspiring when I speak to these clients is, they come in and they really are a shell of a person to start. But then when you talk to them, and after working with your amazing staff, they become empowered, and they stand up and they say, you know what, I'm a survivor. And you could see the pride in their faces when they're able to do that. And I just think it's amazing. And my heart goes out to them, and I'm so proud that, between working with you and their own strength, inner strength that they find, they become survivors. So that, I think, is just amazing.
And I think you bring up such a good point, Veronica, because we call them victims in this field, and then you hear the word victim, and then you hear survivor. So sometimes victim is appropriate because they're in that space of being a victim, but then they come here and they're survivors, and they can move forward. But I like to also say they're thrivers, because once they go through the treatment, once they come out of the Safe House, and they really can go through our program, they thrive. They go back to school. They get that dream job that they've always wanted, and they're in such a better place emotionally. And I'm so proud that we can do that for them.
But it really is a beautiful thing to witness. It is. Anna, can you tell us more about our programs here at Safe and Sound and inform the audience about them?
Yes, absolutely. So in addition to the services Tanya and Tricia just talked about, we have a wide range of comprehensive services that are intended to provide clients a step-by-step guidance as they navigate some really difficult systems like the court system or child protective services. We have a legal advocacy program that has trained advocates and volunteers that help guide clients as they pursue their options for restraining orders. And also, if a client chooses to move forward with a restraining order, which can be a very difficult and emotionally trying circumstance, they sit with them in court, they prepare them so that they know what to expect when they'll be facing their abusive partner and the judge that day. For clients who need further legal services related to issues such as divorce or custody or immigration, our legal advocates can help link them to resources in the community to help address those needs. We also have full-time case managers here at our outreach facility that assist clients who are on their path to independence with matters such as financial education, job readiness training. If they want to prepare a resume, our case managers can help them review the resume so that they're ready to go. We also have ESL classes to help clients who want to learn English so that they can navigate systems better. Additionally, we are committed as an agency to educate the community, and we do that in a number of ways. One of the ways we do that is through our SPEAK program. Our SPEAK program is a program that is designed for young adults and adolescents, so we're in the middle schools and high schools, and we are educating our teens about healthy and unhealthy relationships, what dating violence looks like. We know that 1 in 3 adolescents are in an abusive relationship, and so it's a serious problem, and we're out there educating our teens so that they can identify what it looks like and the ways that they can not be bystanders, and so that they can help their peers who may find themselves in those relationships.
Wow, as you can see from all of these programs, we at Safe and Sound work to help the victims and their children and their families first. That is our initial focus, but we have determined that we have to do more. We have to educate the community. If we want this to stop, we need to educate the community about the causes, and the best way to do that is through our children and start there. So we have a comprehensive program here at Safe and Sound. And if you yourself feel that this might be you, or maybe you have a family member, a friend, a colleague, or someone you know might be struggling in an abusive relationship, please pick up the phone. You can call or text us at 866-685-1122 if you just want to ask questions, to see if this is something for you or to learn how you can help someone out. Please call. Remember, there is no shame to domestic violence. It is not your fault, and we are here to help. That is our role. So thank you for listening today, and I do hope you'll join us at the next Cupcake Roundtable. And thank you for participating today.
Thank you.
Thank you.